everyone, and welcome to the final episode here of the Mighty Melbourne Stars podcast for the off-season. It's been a very big off-season, and we cannot wait until the opening match against the Scorchers in a couple of days, but we'll get straight into it. Heath, how are you feeling? You know, it's been a big off-season, and it's about time that we get started on the season. Are you excited?
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm glad for another Stars tilted the title. We know obviously like our seasons, like couple seasons have been terrible and below par. We need to have a good season to buck the trend. But no, I'm really excited for what lies ahead for the Stars.
Yeah, I think everyone's really excited. You know, there's been a lot of anticipation going into this season. You know, it's going to be a big year for the Stars, hopefully. And I think it's time we turn things around. And we're going to get straight into it now. We've had some news this morning that the Stars have announced Marcus Stoinis as their official captain for BBL 14. Now, Stoinis is contracted on for another 3 years. So this captaincy could go on for multiple years. It might not be just BBL 14. I'll share my personal thoughts straight up, you know. With Stoinis' experience in both domestic and international cricket, I think he'll have some fantastic leadership skills, and I think, you know, he'll lead us to victory. Like I just mentioned, his experience. So I think it's someone that we need. I mean, there's a lot of options that we could have chosen. I think some other people could have been Hilton Cartwright or Bo Webster. Heath, what are your thoughts on the Stoinis signing for captaincy? And do you think it should have gone to someone else, or do you think we made the right decision?
No, I reckon we made the right decision in appointing Stoinis as captain. His experience and leadership are second to none. I reckon we've made a good decision in putting Stoinis as captain. I wasn't mad at it at first. I would have liked Hilton Cartwright as captain, but that's okay. Stoinis is a really good option, and I'm just excited to see what he can bring to the table. As I did see that with the Stars Instagram story, they put out like Stoinis and Cartwright, and it was like Harper and Mackenzie. I think it was like a leadership group or something like that. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, no, the season is well and truly underway, and there's a lot of stuff happening at the club. So, yeah, no, I think Stoinis was a good decision. I mean, it really could have gone to a lot of people, like I just mentioned. But no, I think it'll be great. And that may change his performance, which is a lot of people's theory. Will it make him step up a little bit? Because we know in previous seasons, Stoinis has just looked a little bit lost out on the field. He doesn't look as interested as he used to be, and he's been performing for a lot of other clubs internationally, but he hasn't really been able to get the job done for the Stars in, you know, kind of BBL 12 and 13. So hopefully with that new responsibility, things change and Stoinis can, you know, step it up and go back to his old self. That'd be incredible. We're going to move on now to some player updates. There's been a lot of news regarding a few of our international players and some of our big stars, and people want to know what's happening. So the main one that people have been questioning me about is Glenn Maxwell. As everyone knows, he has been injured. He injured himself in a T20 back in November against one of the international sides when playing for Australia. So, look, at this stage, we don't have a whole lot of information, but he's a 50-50. So, I mean, look, they've really been quiet with this situation. Unfortunately, they haven't released a lot of updates, but the last update was a couple weeks ago, and it was that he is a 50-50 chance to play the opening match. The only bad news is we haven't really heard anything yet, and I feel like if there was good progress, we would have heard some updates. So, look, it's probably unlikely that he'll be there for our opening game, but the good news is, you know, it's not a broken leg like the other season, and we should see Maxi hopefully before the new year or before Christmas in a Stars uniform. So, Heath, do you think with Maxwell's absence in the opening games of the season, will that affect the team, or do you think we'll be able to step up no matter what?
I reckon it would be a bit of both. Like, it'll affect the team somewhat, as Maxi has historically been really good for us. But I don't think it'll affect us as what people think. Like, yes, we rely on him. He's a great player, but honestly, I reckon we're honestly we've got the depth to cover him, and we should be fine without Maxwell for the first few games, as long as we manage the like our players well. Then I've got no doubt in my mind that we should be competing against the teams that we need to in order for him to return or when he returns.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think our roster has a lot of depth, like you just mentioned. And yeah, I think we'll be able to get the job done without him. I mean, the Scorchers are a very strong team, and we do come up against a lot of strong teams early on, including, the Heat, the Sixers, and the Strikers. But, we face those challenges when we get to them. But no, I think Maxwell is hopefully tracking along decently, and we should see him back soon for everyone who's been asking. Going to move on to Usama Mir, who has also had a lot of conversation around him. So the current news we have is Usama Mir is committed to domestic duties in Pakistan for the first 3 games of the season. Therefore, you guys would have seen we've signed a replacement player, Adam Milne, the New Zealand pace bowler. So Mir will play the middle part of the tournament after those first 3 games, and he won't be there for the last game of the season or finals. So he's doing a very short stint in the BBL. He'll be playing 6 games, but as he proved last season, he's great for us. We need that spinner. Um, should we have signed a replacement player that's a spin bowler, Heath? Do you think we made a mistake signing a fast bowler? Like, because we do have a lot of fast bowlers already, and obviously Osama Mir's a spinner. Should we have signed a spin bowler to replace him, or do you think the Stars made the correct decision signing Adam Milne?
Yeah, no, I reckon we made the right decision. Honestly, spin is really good, but also pace is good as well. We know how good Osama Mir is. I'm pretty confident we made the right call, and with Adam Milne, I haven't seen too much of him, so it's hard to say if he'll be decent. But we he just needs to just go in the team and do the team thing. He's not. I don't think we expect him just to come out firing. I just expect him. We all expect him to just do the team thing for the Stars, and that means if we're down and he's going to help us in critical moments, then absolutely. But it's hard to tell at this point.
Yeah, no, look, I think I also haven't seen a whole lot of Adam Milne, but I think he's a good player for New Zealand. And whether we made the right decision signing a paceman instead of a spinner, I guess we'll see. But we do still have those kind of second-hand spin options like Glenn Maxwell and a couple others if we need to, but obviously not a dominant spinner. But Osama Mir is still coming over for 6 games, so we have to appreciate that and take advantage of him while we have it. But we're going to move on to Ben Duckett, who has also had talk around his availability. This is a bit of older news, but a lot of people have still been questioning me on it, so we're going to touch on it. As known, Duckett will miss the first 2 games of the season as he's on international duty with the England Test team. Mind you, he has been playing incredible for England recently in their Test matches. He's in great form, which is great to see leading into the BBL. And former star Joe Clark will replace him at the beginning of the season as a top order batter and a reserve wicketkeeper. Now, I'm quite happy with this. I mean, I love Ben Duckett, but who doesn't love Joe Clark as well? He's proven himself in the Big Bash, and we know that he can play well in Melbourne at the MCG. He was our player of the tournament 2 seasons in a row when he was here, and I'm looking forward to seeing how much firepower he can launch in the first 2 games and hopefully get us off to a good start. Um, that's kind of all for Ben Duckett, but there is something else to touch on with player availability, and that's Bo Webster and Scott Boland. So, due to their selections in the Australian Test squad, their availability is unknown. In between Test matches, there could be some time periods where they may be available to play certain games, but that is unknown and not confirmed. So we have seen it before. Last year Boland was selected in the Test squad, and he still managed to get down to the G for some games. So, look, Heath, do you see Webster or Boland coming into the lineup if they are available?
Yeah, I do reckon I see them both coming into the side. It's going to be hard because like competition for spots. I reckon they'll come in only if like when the when Clark and Duckett have to go. But I reckon we're going to be fine. Like Webber and Clark, they should be fine. They'll come back in and do a job, and we know what they're capable of, especially Joe Clark. I mean, he should never have left Team Green. He stayed Team Green, but no, he's a very good player, as we all know.
Yeah, no, I think definitely Webster and Boland will both easily get a spot in the team if they are available. And we're hoping they're available because they're both in such great form and they'd really benefit us from a T20 point of view. But anyway, that's all the housekeeping stuff out of the way. We thought as a season preview, guys, we'd get through all of that, kind of important season news that the fans have been wanting to know. So sorry if it was a bit boring, but there was a lot of fans that have been asking about player availability and captaincy news. So there you guys have it all. We've just covered all of that. And now we're going to get into the more exciting stuff. We're going to make some season predictions, Heath.
Yep.
So after recapping all that news, how do you see the Stars performing this season? Who do you think will be their leading run scorer, and who do you think will be their leading wicket taker across the whole tournament?
That I reckon we're gonna be fantastic. As I always say every year, it's gonna be Year of the Stars. Our I reckon Stoinis will lead the way for our most run scorer, and for our leading wicket taker, it will go to. I'm gonna go an odd one and go Hilton Cartwright.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, hopefully Hilton Cartwright gets a bowl. He didn't last season, but he is listed as an all-rounder, and we know he can bowl. So yeah, maybe under Stoinis' captaincy, he'll be available in the bowling attack. Look, I was honestly going to say Marcus Stoinis for leading run scorer as well, just because of the factors that we've talked about previously. Being a captain now, he has that extra responsibility and he has been in great form, and hopefully it's his time to shine in the BBL again. But I'll switch it up just because you've already said Stoinis. I'm going to say Sam Harper. It's a very odd one, but he's proven himself in the Big Bash at the Renegades. And I think he had a shit season last season, but previous to that, looking back, he's been amazing in the BBL. He's been a leading run scorer for the Renegades for so many seasons, and I know he's capable of doing it. He's been playing well in the Shield, so I'm going to back him because Maxi's injured. Who knows? He might not be able to score as many runs if he's only playing 7 or 8 games. Webster's out for probably a few games. Cartwright maybe will have a quiet season. You never know. So I think it'll be between Stoinis and Harper, but I'll say Harper. And from a leading wicket taker point of view, I'm going to say Tom Curran. I think he's just been in great form. And I mean, he always performs well in the Big Bash. He's an international, and those guys always seem to perform well. I mean, Peter Siddle's obviously a talked about option, but I think he's just a little bit old. But no, I'm hoping everyone can take a few wickets this season. But we'll move on, Heath. What is the Stars win-loss record going to be? So we play 10 games in the season. How many wins are we going to rack up, and how many losses are we going to take?
We'll go for top. We'll go top of the table. I reckon we'll go. You need 10 wins to make it. I'm gonna go 10-5. That's my prediction. 10-5.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think we're pushing for finals in a 10-game series. I'm gonna go 8-2. I think we're gonna win majority of our games this season, but we might fall short a couple of times. We do have a pretty tough fixture this year, so look, I wouldn't be surprised if we drop a couple games early. But I think we're going to make a comeback later in the season and win majority of our games, which will hopefully secure us a final spot, won't it, Heath? All right, we're going to move on to ladder predictions. Heath, where do you see the Stars finishing on the ladder? What is a final number on the ladder that we're going to finish, and are we going to make the finals?
Yes, we're gonna make the finals, and I reckon we'll finish on top. Take the minor premiership or whatever they call it. Take the minor premiership, and yeah, I reckon we'll finish number one, and obviously the Stars biased, but I reckon we'll win the whole thing. I'm just being absolutely biased, but it's our time. We've been building for the last couple of years. Obviously, we need to prove everyone wrong. I reckon we'll, like I said, finish first and should be deadly to a lot of teams, and they will respect us and fear us because we are a fantastic side.
Yeah, and I know we're talking about how we're a little bit Stars biased, but to be honest, I wouldn't say that we're going to win the flag if I didn't think we were going to win the flag. And I think this year we do have a chance. You know, I've said this so many times. The Big Bash is such a small competition that really anyone can win it. And I think we have a solid roster. We've got good internationals. We have a solid domestic list. And look, there's no reason if we stick to our game plan why we can't win the final. So I'm going to say we finish second or third. I'm not sure about the top spot, but I think we will go all the way, hopefully this season. And I'm going to lock in a grand final spot for us. Um, don't know who it's going to be against, but I just know the Stars are hopefully going to be up there this season. I know it definitely won't be against the Thunder or the Renegades, that's for sure. But you know, maybe the Heat again, and hopefully we ruin their back-to-back chances.
Oh yeah, you want to go Brisbane Heat? I want to go get revenge on the Sydney Sixers. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Any team would be nice, really.
Yeah.
Well, there's our predictions, guys. I don't have too much more to talk about, but I will touch on the giveaway that is happening very soon. As a lot of you guys know, I've been collaborating with the official Melbourne Stars, which has been a great time for me. It's something that I've been pretty proud of, and I'm pleased to say, you know, that we are launching a giveaway that has been posted on my page for a while now. So all you have to do is go to the post, comment your leading wicket taker and leading run scorer for our opening game on Sunday evening against the Scorchers, keeping in mind, you know, those players who will be playing and will not be playing. And whoever guesses the leading run scorer is going to win a official BBL 14 playing shirt. Love those Guernseys. And the leading wicket taker, guesser, is going to win a Mitchell and Ness lovely black and green Stars hat. And then those two winners are going to win a ticket each to our opening home game versus the Brisbane Heat on the 18th of December at the MCG. Heath, what do you think about that giveaway?
Yeah, no, I absolutely love the giveaway. It's fantastic that we've got the Stars on board, and they were happy to help us with the giveaway and the prizes and selecting the prizes. It's going to be fantastic to see who goes down because two lucky fans will get a ticket and we'll be able to we'll see us beat the Brisbane Heat. Hopefully we beat the Brisbane Heat because it'd be nice to knock them off and show the Stars fans that we're actually legit this year.
Yeah, no, I think the giveaway is a great opportunity. You know, the Stars love getting that big attendance, and hopefully for our first home game of the season, we get solid numbers there. But yeah, any questions about the giveaway, guys, make sure you send me a message. But just to go over the basic rules, you know, make sure you comment down below in the comment section, one comment per person. You can guess both a leading run scorer and leading wicket taker. And yeah, I'll be searching those comments thoroughly after the game and making sure I choose the correct winners. And those winners will be sent a message. So congratulations in advance.
Yeah, no, good
Heath, I
luck
don't
to
have too much more
everyone.
to talk
And
about. We've covered.
what was that? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you know, we've covered the giveaway now. We've also covered the captaincy and we've covered player availability. Do you have anything you want to add, Heath?
Did you want to tease the next podcast for the Melbourne Stars account?
Yeah, look, the next podcast is going to be a game review. It'll be the Stars versus Scorchers game review. We're finally up to the reviews because it's now the season. We finished all the previews, which is an exciting time. You know, the reviews, we'll be chatting with fans. We'll be having two guests on each podcast, hopefully, and we'll be chatting about what went well and what went wrong in each game and hopefully making some predictions for the next game. And yeah, just really having a chat and recapping the game. What are your thoughts on that, Heath?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Can't wait to do the review. I will be able to I'm going to the Christmas carols, I'll be able to watch the second of whoever's bowling or batting. Hopefully, the Stars are batting when I get back from the carols. If we're batting first, I can just gather up thoughts and check on the scores, and I can gather thoughts on our bowling and fielding. And if we make some little adjustment, because I will be I will be writing down notes like positives and negatives, so I have something to talk about when we get to the review, which will be fantastic, and hopefully we'll be talking about a win. But the Scorchers, they're looking pretty good, even though they've lost a few players. I still hold them in high regard as they are one of the deadliest teams in the Big Bash. But
Oh
we
yeah, definitely.
yeah, we need to get the job done. We need to start off well. We cannot afford to can't afford to be complacent early because once the Stars once the Scorchers get a run on, they're hard to beat. So if we bat first, we need to make smart decisions. We need to play our shots well, not throw wickets away. And same with the bowling, just bowl good line and length, and absolutely no short stuff. Anything you want to add there?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with everything you've said, Heath. And look, the Scorchers are an extremely strong team, and we talked about that in our preview just the other day, which will be released on game day. Um, Look, I think it is important to get off to a good start, but I mean, if we do lose, it's not the end of the world. It happened to us last season when we dropped our first few games and then we made a comeback. So, I think it'll be good. I think this season we have what it takes. We've been rebuilding for a while, but now we finally have a solid roster, and I think we need to capitalize on that and put the work in. Because between our local players and international players, there's a very large variety of talent and experience, and I truly believe that we have what it takes to go all the way. So that's kind of my final message before the opening game. Do you have anything else you'd like to touch on, Heath?
For your nostalgic fans out there who don't know, we're going to touch a little bit on how the podcast started and the inspirations we we had in order to do the podcast. So, did you want to tell the fans how we started the podcast and how we came to be on Instagram and YouTube worldwide and getting guests on?
Yep. So I, just had my Stars page going, and Heath was just a regular Stars supporter who came up with the incredible idea of, starting a podcast. And I remember at the exact moment I was on the train on the way home from the final game of the season. It was the Stars versus Hurricanes game. I was in a bit of a shit mood because the Stars had just lost to the Hurricanes, and it was a disappointing way to end the season. But Heath came to me with this incredible idea of starting a podcast, and we could talk throughout the off season on trades and signings and the draft and do a season review and all this exciting news that we've been doing for the past few months, which the viewers have loved. So that's kind of, I guess, how it started. There's obviously inspirations that Heath had. I didn't really have a particular inspiration, but I'd always been interested in, getting fans involved and just building a community where we could have a chat about the team that we love. But yeah, no, it's been a really fantastic off season, and me and Heath have never actually done a podcast during the season because when we started this podcast at the end of the season, so we've only ever filmed during the off season. So it's going to be great to actually be talking to Heath during the season because we haven't done that yet. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, my version of events, I remember commenting on your story. Do you remember what what comment I said?
Oh, not exactly.
Oh, I think it was like, how did we bloody lose that game when we were mentally weak and stuff? and I think you responded politely. Then I'm like, hi, why don't we just do a podcast together and had numerous guests on board. I would like to shout out Blair Crouch and Cardi and Jimbo and Nick Larkin as well for coming on and helping us grow the podcast and the fans as well. They've been a really good inspiration for us, but my inspirations were Jake from Saints TV. Give him another shout out. He's fantastic. If you want to go watch some St Kilda content on YouTube, and True Geordie over in the UK, and Logan Paul and KSI, those people with podcasts, they massive inspirations for me, and would like to thank them both. And yeah, that's just my inspiration for starting the podcast, and it was just awesome to see that we are going to new heights, and we can start by previewing the Scorchers, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah, it's been an incredible off season, and that was a great little speech by you there, Heath, on your inspirations. It's great to hear about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess that wraps it up. We have touched on the captaincy, we've touched on player updates, we've made predictions for the final time, and we've had our little moment of appreciation. And I guess that's time to wrap it up for the final time in the off season. And well, what an exciting time it is! The beginning of BBL 14. It'll go pretty quick. The season's not long, but we got to enjoy it while it lasts, and just hope for the best for Team Green.
Yeah, definitely. And also, don't forget to follow my co-host and myself on Instagram. Don't forget to follow the podcast account on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends, share it, turn on notifications for updates, and just make sure that you'll be entertained as we're doing our best to entertain you guys. Give our thoughts, celebrate our wins and our losses together, because we are all one club. Like, from us to the fans to the players, we're all in sync, and yeah, it's just going to be exciting, and can't wait to beat the Scorchers and show everyone that we're going to be fantastic this year.
Yeah, that's very well said, Heath. You know, we all love the Big Bash, no matter win, loss, or draw. But yeah, that wraps up the final preview of the off season, and it's been Jacob and Heath today, guys, and we look forward to hearing from you guests on the 16th of December when we do our next podcast. So we'll see you guys then.
Yeah, go Stars.
Go Stars.
What you doing?